Chapter 1's loot pool was fun but unbalanced, and it being confirmed we'll get a map from Season 5 through 10, we can expect to see lots of weapons returning. Since we're starting on Season 5, we shouldn't expect to get anything crazy like the OG SMG or the Zapatron, but we definitely will get the Scar and the AR back. They had been with us for the entire first 2 chapters, but since then, we've only seen the Scar come back. And it's been 2 years since the AR was in the game, so it will be nice to use them again. The Burst will also certainly be returning. But this one is a little more complicated, because there's like 69 different versions. You've got the OG model, this FAMAS model, this AUG model, and then there's the Striker Burst with the first person scope. If they are really going for the Chapter 1 vibes, they should bring back the OG model and revert it to shooting 3 bullets instead of 2. Most likely we'll also see the scoped and thermal scoped AR, though throughout the years they've been heavily changed in terms of fire rate and damage. Then we've got the LMG, which was pretty overpowered before the nerf, so maybe they won't change it back to its original stats just to keep the game balanced. There are a few more ARs that I'll talk about in a bit, but right now I have to address a few elephants in the loot pool. Obviously everyone wants a pump to come back, and hopefully it will have its original model and animations, but its stats were actually changed pretty often throughout the years. In Season 5 the uncommon and rare variants only did 80 and 85 body shot damage, but in Season 6 this was changed to 95 and 100, and then there's the current stats. So which ones will it be? Maybe they'll change it midway through the season when we get to Season 6. Then there is the tag, of course, which we also haven't seen in a very long time, so we'll certainly get to play with it again soon. Another fan favorite is the heavy shotgun, which has 2 different versions with the exact same name for some reason. One of which is the OG version, of course, so it'll probably be easy for them to add that one back. The double barrel was also introduced in Season 5, which originally did 150 body shot damage, but was nerfed to 120 later. It would be pretty funny to have the OG version because it was kind of OP. Later down the chapter came a more controversial shotgun, being the first to replace the pump, the Combat. This one will likely come back during the Season 9 period and hopefully won't be as nerfed because right now it's pretty bad. Alongside it we'll probably have its crazier and deadlier cousin, the drum shotgun, which will hopefully stay nerfed actually. Let's move on to some explosives with the minigun. Yeah. The minigun was actually classified as an explosive weapon up until Season 9. On top of that, it used to have a 2.5 times hackshot multiplier, meaning the legendary variant did 48 hackshot damage. Then we've got the classics like the RPG and grenade launcher, which will definitely come back along with the grenade slinger and C4. But the weapon everyone wants to see come back is the guided missile, which was in the game for a while during Season 5 and 6, but when it was vaulted, it was removed from the files entirely. This could be a reason for it not to return, but Epic definitely knows a lot of people really want to see it come back, so maybe it will return in some way. Later down the line we were also introduced to the quad launcher and proximity grenade launcher. These weapons were pretty annoying to fight against, but they weren't really overpowered, so we'll likely see them back. What we probably won't see back is holiday specific items like the egg launcher, Cupid's crossbow, presents and birthday presents, since it would be kind of weird. One exception to this is the pumpkin launcher, since the entirety of Season 6 was a Halloween season. During this time, people were getting better and better at the game, making the skill gap bigger and bigger, which made it harder for new players to get into the game. Epic did not like this, so they kept adding more and more bullshit to the game to counter building, such as dynamite. It blasted all of the builds within a big range, but it wasn't too OP since it only damaged players on the ground, and it took a very long time to actually explode. On the other hand, we had the airstrike, which fired a bunch of rockets from the sky within a small area. This was a little OP, so if they bring this back, let's hope it's nerfed at least a little bit. Then there was the boombo, which was kind of like a sniper sniper but with splash damage. I could see this getting nerfed. Let's move over to a more controversial category of weapons, SMGs. First of all, there's the tactical SMG. It used to be really good and did tons of damage, but when it was added back in Chapter 2, it was nerfed hard, making it basically useless. It was only in Season 5 for a week though, quickly being replaced by the submachine gun, which was very controversial. Right out of the gate, it had 30 bullets in its magazine, a fire rate of 13 and 19 to 21 damage depending on the rarity. Luckily, it was quickly nerfed in the next update, but with it, they brought us the compact SMG, which did 24 damage and 50 bullets in its magazine. You could just keep on spraying. It would be crazy to see these weapons return with these OP stats. There was also the suppressed SMG, which was a really good and accurate weapon at the time. Later, we also got a burst SMG. Not really a fan favorite, but we could see it come back as well. We can expect classic vehicles to come back, like the chopping cart, ATK, quad crasher, plane driftboard, and also the baller and pirate cannon. But not all vehicles were so well received. One of them actually ruined an entire season for a lot of people.
He's tarping it!
The mech. It was an uncounterable killing machine. There was no stopping it, and everyone wanted it removed. Unfortunately, we might have to deal with it again soon, but maybe Epic will nerf it. But the mech wasn't the only item that got people upset. There was also the Ching Ching Ching, also known as the Infinity Blade. It gave you 200 health and shield, did 75 damage per swing, and destroyed builds easily. And on top of that, it was added right before one of the biggest Fortnite tournaments at the time, the Winter Royale. If you were on low ground, you were done for. There was nothing you could do to stop this weapon. Since there likely won't be any major tournaments, I can definitely see this getting added back. There's another Infinity thing we should mention though, the Infinity Gauntlet. This along with the other Marvel and DC collab items will probably not return, as they were only in the game for a short amount of time. But what will definitely come back is the bolt action sniper, along with the hunting rifle and the not so fan favorite semi-auto sniper. We'll also probably see the comeback of the later introduced heavy, suppressed and storm scout snipers. What we might not see again though is the Fiend Hunter crossbow. It was only in the game for a really short amount of time during Season 6, only doing 50 damage. It was more so meant for killing zombies than killing people, unfortunately, so it might not come back just because of its dark waterness level. There was also the automatic sniper, which was more like an AR, but you had to lead the bullets. Speaking of ARs, the Infantry Rifle has to come back. Everyone loved it so much, and it had such a satisfying reload sound. The heavy AR will likely make a return as well. I don't see why they wouldn't bring back the tactical AR and suppressed AR, but what might not come back as it used to be is the drum gun. It actually did 27 damage at first and had a fire rate of 9. This was later reduced to 23 damage and 8 fire rate. Often seen as the worst category of weapons are the pistols. Not many people are fans of the pistol, suppressed pistol, revolver, scoped revolver or 6-shooter, but they have their moments. A more popular weapon is the dual pistols. When they hit, they can really do some good damage. The only downside is their big amount of bloom. One weapon we all like is the hand cannon. For a while, it was able to one-shot wooden walls, though the best pistol of them all has to be the flint knock. It did great damage and gave you great mobility. This one has to return. So what weapons do you guys want to see come back? Let me know in the comments. And thank you for watching the whole video. I've got more Fortnite videos planned, so definitely subscribe if you want to see more. And leave a like as well, because then I will be happy. Doei!